This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J Cast. I'm Joel Abraham, joined by Damon McDonald. Damon, I've been beside myself for the past 24 hours. I'm desperate to talk to you, get this out of my system, so let's flip the usual show format on its head. Let's go straight into Dominion in Osaka Hall, Sunday, July the 12th, and start with the main event, the 7th match, IWGP Heavyweight and IWGP Intercontinental Double Championship match. Evil defeating Tetsuya Naito in 38 minutes and 1 second with Evil to become double champion. Damon, go.
Wow. I mean, I thought we were starting off with Master Wato. I was prepared for that. I didn't know. It's July 13th, and we are talking about, new shows coming back for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and over and above that, we are talking about a new IWGP Heavyweight Champion, who is a guy that just weeks ago we talked about how it needed to be fresh and he needed a change and a new coat of paint and all of that. And boy, we went there and then some, didn't we, Joel? Would you ever have thought that here in 2020, with all that has gone on, with the world turning upside down, that here we would be sitting and talking about IWGP Heavyweight Champion, a title that only few people have held. Evil is on that list.
King of Darkness, Evil. This year is crazy, isn't it? I mean, first of all, I'm just grateful that we're actually getting to talk about wrestling from the start. It's good stuff, but I mean, I've got my own thoughts on it. What do you think of the decision from a booking point of view, like actually putting the big boy belt on Evil?
When he turned at New Japan Cup and all that shenanigans went down with Bullet Club, and then again, New Japan, don't tell me they can't tell a story, because that was executed, the old chef's kiss from Damon, the fist bump where we're, hey, listen, we complained about it. We didn't want to see the fist bump, right? We didn't want to see them all standing in the ring doing a fist bump. And we were getting teased a fist bump. And then Evil does his too sweet, which he still needs a little uncomfortable doing. And then puts Naito out, stomps on the hat, and the camera catches everything. Multiple angles. They were able to put together a nice little video package the night after. There's a lot of people that will say, hey, they needed something fresh because 2/3 of their roster can't get into the country. And they needed something to carry them over to if and when they can get a full roster back. Bullet Club had nobody. And I think it was Nicole from our Discord. Hall of Famer, should I say. Nicole. Who, speaking of which, we do have to talk about that at some point. She nailed it when it came to, hey, Bullet Club's looking pretty thin, and don't be surprised if we see that. We saw that. Nobody picked the title change. No, there was not one person that even whispered to me, title change. So there's that train of thought, Joel, of, hey, they had to do it because they needed a good, strong program leading into the late summer months. Okay, and I can agree with that. There's other schools of thought, Joel, that this was in the works for a long time, and this was in the works of maybe not even necessarily Evil being the person fit into that little slot, but I mean, other people, should we say? Can we say? I mean, it's rumors. I mean, nothing's etched in stone on that. But that other people were earmarked for that role to a T of what Evil has done. And here's the thing, Joel. I really think it's a combination of all of it. I really think 2020 was going to be a wacky year, COVID-19 or not. And I think COVID-19 helped push that narrative of, okay, this is the year we're going to go for it. We're going to get a little crazy. Because why not? Because all these cards are stacked against us. I love it. I am thrilled. One, that they had the balls to do it. That's a ballsy move. And two, that they were able to, on the fly, use the New Japan Cup as a catalyst to not only have a New Japan Cup, which we all had our pants down over, right? The idea of a New Japan Cup in a tournament and every match meaning something. And again, we can argue about match quality and all that shit. But to me, New Japan Cup was, months of storyline build put into one tournament where you were able to create stars. And again, is it because that half the roster's not there? Okay, maybe yes. But they made it work. And now you have a New Japan Cup that told the stories of months worth of build to build toward and I'll put in air quotes, a big show in front of human beings. How great was that, by the way? And to add spice to a faction who felt a little dry, right? To a pro wrestler who was dry as toast. Was there any? Joel, I sat here 2 weeks ago talking about how Evil is probably, for me, one of the more boring guys on the roster. He not only got a new coat of paint, fucking guy got an addition to the house. He's the fucking world champion. I mean, there's not many guys who can say that. And then Evil, even above Evil, you had guys like Sho. You had guys like Hiromu. You had guys like Despy. You had guys like Tanahashi, who all stepped up, all became more than what they were. Look. They were dealt a hand of cards that everybody kind of sat back and scratched their head and was like, how the fuck are they going to get out of this one? And they found a way to get out of it. And there's more people talking about Evil now than at any point in his career. And there's more people talking about New Japan. Let's put it this way. Nobody's gray on this. People either love it or people are like, but it's emotion that you have felt for the first time in months over pro wrestling. And to me, that's a great thing.
That's it, isn't it? Like, for years, we've been complaining that the bubble of guys who can win the IWGP title is too small. IWGP title matches are too predictable. Like, even the Switchblade title win was telegraphed from a mile away. I called that one a New Year Dash. So, do we really want a world where the belt is just, passed between Okada, Naito, Tanahashi ad nauseum, or where we can predict exactly whom is allowed to join that big boy table long before it even happens, because they tick the list of boxes, the little checklist, what makes them champion material. And like you said, nobody saw this title win coming. People predicted the turn. Some people predicted the Bullet Club thing. No one thought the title was going to change hands. Nobody. Evil's not a draw. He's one of the lower guys in his faction. His matches aren't tip-top quality. His gimmick's too goofy. He needs to break away from LIJ and change it up. Guess what? You got all of that and then some. Yeah. And Damon, are we ever going to sit here again before an IWGP title match and say, well, this guy's definitely not winning? Not anymore.
Right.
All bets are off now, right? And that can only be a positive in my eyes. And like you talked about, let's look at the lay of the land right now. New Japan, they're not going to be running full houses anytime soon. There's no pressure on them to have to sell out large venues. So they're playing with house money. This is the perfect time to shake things up, take some risks, make some new stars. And yeah, like you said, it's not just Evil. Look, who else has been elevated in this New Japan card? We got Taichi, we got Sho, El Desperado, Wato, Hiromu. They planted the seeds for the next batch of guys, and they should be applauded for having the gumption to do that and give us 2 unhappy endings back to back on a show that we all thought was going to be a big feel-good celebration. And what would be the point of, let's say, running Naito versus Okada again, or Naito versus Sanada, when you're only getting a third of the fans in the building? And, we're very deep in the bubble. Time will tell whether or not this was the right move, but I don't see it hurting business. And like you mentioned, everyone's talking about it, and in a good way. I can't stop thinking about it. Seriously, after Dominion finished, I was in a daze for the rest of the day. I was so distracted. I couldn't really do anything else. Watching TV, reading books, my mind just kept going back to Evil holding those 2 belts. And it reminded me of when I read A Storm of Swords. And spoiler alert, anyone who hasn't read it, or anyone who hasn't watched Game of Thrones and is planning to do so, skip forward a few minutes. They set up one guy who you think is going to be the big hero, and then wham! All his men get butchered in the Red Wedding when you least expect it, and it's shocking and disturbing and upsetting. I had to put the book down for a long time so I could digest it, and I had a very similar response to Dominion yesterday. And the more you think about it, the more it begins to make sense, and you think, damn, should have seen that coming. You're supposed to be upset by it, and I hate to be the you got worked guy, but all of these people who are bitching about Evil being the champion, they'll be back next time. They're going to be watching Sengoku Lords. They'll be back. And funnily enough, it's not even the LIJ fans who are upset by this, because they get it, right? They know it makes sense. Because I've seen a lot of people say, it would have been better if Shingo had been in Evil's spot, and I respectfully disagree. I wouldn't put Shingo in there just because he has great matches and he whacks people really hard. As the last guy to join LIJ, it would have been far less dramatic and impactful for Shingo to be the guy to turn. Evil, on the other hand, he was Naito's first LIJ teammate, the first guy he recruited, the first pareja. And then at the end, you got Hiromu just losing his mind at the end because Evil was his dojo buddy. They went through the ranks together, and he feels betrayed by that. And for me, that story does not work if you put Shingo in there. And whether or not you enjoy Evil's matches, that's another discussion, which we'll get into later. But the turn makes perfect sense to me. Evil is sick of being the forgotten man in LIJ. He's sick of seeing Naito and Hiromu and Shingo Sanada take the limelight. He's sick of carrying this goofy scythe, wearing the makeup. He sees a leaderless Bullet Club, a way to make a name for himself, and he grabs it by the throat. And this has been staring us in the face from the moment he kicked Hiroki Goto in the balls in round 2 of the Cup. There's even an interview with Naito on the website from June 23rd, which is practically a spoiler when you go and look at it now. Naito's talking about how Evil's been incommunicado since the lockdown and that he's, the 4th of the 4 heavyweights in LIJ, but he also predicts him to win the whole tournament. So, like I said, it's been staring us in the face. Twitter, Cola Blue 3, pointed out that Naito gives Evil a little nod right after the Too Sweet thing at the end of the Cup final. Even Naito knew it was coming. So what's not to get? This is storytelling 101. And let's not forget as well, Damon, his name is Evil. That's important. It's foreshadowing. So when people ask, was this always the plan? We'll never know. I can't see Watanabe blabbing to Big Dave, but that's not the point. I mean, for what it's worth, Wrestling Observer News, they did actually say last November that one idea talked about for 2020 was breaking Evil away from LIJ, giving him a big singles push. And I've seen other rumours that, it was supposed to be other guys who are not in the country right now who weren't so keen on it, but that doesn't matter to me. The point is that it makes sense and I think is powerful storytelling. If Evil had betrayed LIJ, changed his faction, changed his music, changed his gear, brought out Dick Togo, and then lost to Naito, that would have been ridiculous. He'd look like an absolute geek. He'd be finished. So This serves multiple purposes here. First, it injects new life into a guy who, like you said, we both wrote off 2 weeks ago. The company needs a new top heel with the likes of Jay and Kenta stuck in the US, and let's be real, we have no idea when they're coming back. This could be months and months. They could be out for the rest of 2020. So you cannot tread water hoping that things will go back to normal. You've got to take action and spice things up. And you can look at uncoupling the Intercontinental title now. You've got a series of fresh, hot main event programs that you can run. We got Evil versus Hiromu. You could do Evil versus Sanada, Evil versus Ibushi, Evil versus Tanahashi. Yeah, it could be Evil versus Okada. We'll get to that later, but there are a lot of different possible directions you can go. And then when you get the likes of Jay White, Kenta, Gorillas of Destiny, El Phantasmo returning to Japan, I can't wait for that. That is thrilling to me. You've got a ready-made, red-hot storyline there. Old Bullet Club versus New Bullet Club. Throw in the Lone Wolf Carl Fredericks to fuck the shit up even more. Maybe even have a big faction shake-up. I've heard rumours that could be in the works, but you never know. But even just the LIJ storyline itself is exciting because, like we said, we got Hiromu as the next challenger. Is the story going to be Evil going through the rest of LIJ, building up for Naito to get his win back, just as we go back to full capacity crowds? I mean, does Naito get the title back? He usually does. Like, whether he's feuding with Jericho or Jay White or Okada, Naito usually wins the feud at the end of the day. But, and again, you ask yourself why, like, Naito versus Tanahashi has been protected for 3 years. We haven't seen that match since Dominion 27. It's the G1 2017 G1 block finals. So I'm asking myself, what are they saving that for? So maybe they use this story as a vehicle to launch Hiromu into the stratosphere by having Hiromu be the guy who defeats Evil and reclaims LIJ's pride, and also realising that junior versus heavyweight title dream. I mean, it might not happen at Sengoku Lord. We might have to wait a bit longer for it. But to me, LIJ is a lot more compelling with their back to the wall, rather than being all happy, hey, look at us, we're winning all the time, we've got all the belts. That's less interesting to me. So a lot of questions coming up. How long does Evil keep the belt? Can he take it to the Dome? Who beats him for it? I mean, even if it's short term, it elevates him. And in the future, each time Evil enters a G1 or challenges for the title, you're going to think, this guy is a serious threat. So in the space of 24 hours, you've made this guy for the rest of his career at relatively little risk. It's a no-brainer when you look at all the evidence. And most importantly, I've got no idea what's next. And I like it.
100%.
And that is what I was going to ask you, actually. When you're finished, I want to know what your thoughts were on the quality of the match itself. But, yeah. Well,
I mean, the quality of the match was... I mean, it's certainly not one of my favorites when it comes to bell to bell. I didn't think it was anything that I would go back and rewatch. Yet, I watched that match twice. Maybe it was just because I wasn't ready for it when it happened. Because my first thought was, like, when first the bullshit, right? Okay, so we got, and I cannot believe I'm saying this in the year 2020, but we have a masquerading Bushi,
Big Bushi,
Dick Bushi,
Big Bushi. He's so massive. Yeah. It's like, who is this large Bushi coming out?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you knew it wasn't him from the jump, right? So it was just a matter of, okay, so who's this under the mask? He was a very big Bushi.
I love the fact that the real Bushi didn't bother to come out. Like, he's watching on screen. It's like, yeah, don't worry, guys, I've got this. And then he realized, oh, wait, that's not actually me.
Right. Where was everybody when this was going down? What a terrible friendship they have. So, Dick Togo. I cannot believe I'm saying Dick Togo as a New Japan roster member here in 2020, but here we are. Comes down, strangles Naito half to death. And I understand, again, Joel, I understand that we need to have a ref distracted out for all these things to happen. But it felt like Red Shoes was made of paper mache during this tournament because he was down for everything. There was not a stiff wind, and he was down for 3 minutes, crawling around in the corner. That becomes a little bit, all right. Evil hits it. Boom. And as Red Shoes is counting, 1, 2, the hand's going down, and I'm like, I see the 3. And it doesn't hit. Like, I was like, like my first thought was, they finally gave Evil that fucking win. Like, that's good. And And then I was stopped and I was like, what? They gave him the win. That means he's the champion. And it did not sink in for me for a while. The post-match felt a little flat to me, to be honest. The Hiromu challenging I loved. But I just think everyone, I think even he was in shock. I think everybody was just in shock. That's the best way I can describe it. It wasn't celebratory. It wasn't your normal title change. It felt like everybody was just kind of like everybody at home. Their mouths were open. Their eyes were wide open. Like, what the fuck is happening here? So that was the weird part because when I turned off that show, I had to holy shit, he fucking won the title. And it didn't register to me for a long time after that 3 count. It wasn't like that instant pop off the couch of, holy shit, he fucking won. It was, he won? He won. The fucking guy won. That was my reaction for at least 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour after that show ended.
Yeah, the reason I asked you about the match quality, it's been quite controversial, but given everything I've already laid out about how great I think the story is, for me personally, I think squabbling over match quality star ratings, that's missing the point. Like, yes, the match was long, Evil worked at a slower pace, there was a lot of cheating, a lot of run-ins. One of the better ones, I might add, with Jado plodding to the ring and then Ishimori just sprinting past him. I thought that was hilarious. But I think all those things made sense to the story. They added to the drama. They made the finish more impactful. And if you hated the match, I can understand that. I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong for disliking it. And I'm also not saying that match quality and exciting storytelling are mutually exclusive. But if they worked, I don't know, a 20-minute high-paced, high-impact sprint of a main event with big flashy moves and a clean finish, I don't think the story would have worked. And again, that's just my taste. I think dragging it out and making it so slow and agonizing made it all the more gut-wrenching when it ended like it did. Like the way it built up established this overwhelming tension and dread that something bad was going to happen. Like you could feel it in the air. So this is why I think people who see the events of this weekend and their biggest takeaway from the whole thing is, that match sucks, 2 stars, Evil's slow and boring, I hate run-ins, this isn't why I watch New Japan, rah, rah, rah. Again, my opinion, they're missing the forest for the trees. I think there's more to pro wrestling and more to New Japan than moves and stars and work rate. And if you want those things, the 2 matches prior to the Evil Naito match were pretty fucking great on those terms. I was having a great chat with Manabu. Go and follow him on Twitter at SJ Manabu. He brought up some really good points. One was that famous Inoki quote. He said, you shouldn't always send fans home 100% satisfied. And also he mentioned like that match was more like a film than a wrestling match, and brought up the question of what is match quality? Can we really evaluate a wrestling match anymore, like when it's so subjective? Is the number of lariats and near falls and fighting spirit spots, is that what we use to quantify whether or not a match was good, or is it something else? And I think Naito versus Evil, it was designed to confuse us and upset us and shock us. And Manabu brought up a really great food analogy. He said this match wasn't pizza. It's not something we've eaten before. And you can eat pizza every day if you want. You can stick Okada versus Omega on a loop or go and watch PWG. But New Japan is not PWG. It's not 90s All Japan. It's 2020. These are weird times, and I'm encouraging all of you to ask yourself what really makes a match good and memorable to you, because for everyone that answer is going to be different. There is no right or wrong answer there. And I can enjoy an exciting Ishii or an Ospreay G1 match, but is it going to elicit any lasting emotions from me? Will I remember anything about those matches? Because I'm certainly going to remember Milano Collection AT jumping over the fucking guardrail to attack Evil, or Naito getting his knee smashed to bits through the table, or Dick Togo choking the life out of Naito, or Hiromu screaming in the ring at the end of it all. So, well, I know the popular discourse out there is, this match is only X number of stars and Evil could be bad for business. I'm sorry, but to me, that's boring. And I get that wrestling's a business, but approaching it purely on those terms is so reductive. It's so clinical. This is art, Damon. I want to engage with it in terms of the drama and the themes and the narrative, rather than a dispassionate breakdown of how many stars you give it and how many tickets it will sell and how much money it's going to make. I mean, let's say in 20 years, someone goes back and looks for information on this match and they see a 3-star rating. What does that really tell you about the match? It doesn't tell you anything. And I understand that ratings and rankings and spreadsheets, numbers, they help us make sense of the scary world around us. I get it. But to me, that's really taken the heart out of what I enjoy in pro wrestling. So if you hate the match, I get it. I won't dismiss those critiques, and you wouldn't be alone in disliking it. But I hope I've put forward some counterpoints that are worth considering.
Look, I think in the history of pro wrestling, you're always going to have both elements. The reason, and I'm going to give you the counter argument, the reason why many people gravitate toward New Japan Pro Wrestling in the past 5-8 years has been on the back of the match quality. And there's always going to be people that, like, if given the choice, Joel, I'm going to watch what I would consider a great pro wrestling match over what we saw the other night. The other night was not something that to me is rewatchable. It's impactful. It's jarring, but it's not something that where you're going to pop in New Japan World and go back and watch Evil Naito again. I watched it again only because I watched it to see things that I may have missed, because I was dumbfounded by the fact that I saw what I saw. Couldn't believe it. I like pro wrestling for pro wrestling in the sense of I love it when it's treated like a sport, and I love it when I guess I'm more of a match quality junkie than what I'll call the bullshit. And that's throughout my entire fandom, right? It's like people will come to me and be like, "Well, you like the honky tonk man." I was like, "I never liked the honky tonk man. Like, pro wrestling's always had this." Okay, but yeah, that's what I'm fast. Jimmy Valiant, I'm fucking fast forwarding. You know what I mean? I'm not watching this shit, but I'm gonna watch Tully, and I'm gonna watch Arn, and I'm gonna watch, Barry Windham, and I'm gonna watch, Savage, and I'm gonna watch, there were things that I like about pro wrestling. For me, the match did not hit the mark anywhere. It wasn't a good match. But there's more to pro wrestling than just good matches. And I think that's the takeaway here, is that you can find anything that you find in pro wrestling that checks the box for you, then that's awesome. But again, if we're talking about 7 years, 5 years, well, however, people coming to New Japan Pro Wrestling and seeing the product that they deliver and latching on to it, I would say a lot of people latch on to those main events, and there's become a standard. And you mentioned, well, you could eat pizza for the rest of your life, and it'd be great, but this is not pizza. But if you're expecting pizza, and pizza is what you've gotten for New Japan Pro Wrestling main events for 7 years, there is an expectation that you're going to be getting some fucking good pizza. And then when somebody brings out a bowl of fucking SpaghettiOs, because that's what you got there if we're talking about a pro wrestling match. You got a bowl of SpaghettiOs. It was fun and easy and even debatably delicious, but it wasn't good. Nobody says SpaghettiOs are good. You didn't get pizza. You didn't get the pizza. And I think that's what people are concerned with, because Evils hasn't delivered the fucking pizza. And when you expect the pizza and you got SpaghettiOs, again, especially on a guy that's been built as a guy who delivers nothing but SpaghettiOs for the past fucking 2 years, it leaves people scratching their heads. Now, again, I agree. You got to look outside the box a little bit and see the greater good of what this match really is. And I think people generally will, if they haven't already. They'll be there. But no, if you're looking for, epic New Japan Pro Wrestling main event, this wasn't it at all. And I think people, a large section of pro wrestling fans want that and need that to a certain degree. And I'll go so far as to say, Joel, that there is a huge pocket of New Japan Pro Wrestling fans that probably relatively new that appreciate the Hiromu screaming in the fucking ring for 10 minutes, like a bad actor, or the craziness and the run-ins and all of that. There are people that appreciate that part of what New Japan delivers. It's certainly not fucking rings, right? Star ratings are important, and I'm going to say that out loud. Star ratings are important, and the reason why they're important is the same reason there's star ratings for everything. It's used as a fucking guide. It doesn't tell you that this match is 3 stars, so you have to enjoy it as 3 stars. You can enjoy it as 27 stars. No one gives a shit. It's a guide. No one gives a shit about the 3 stars, really. I don't understand why everybody goes crazy over one guy's star ratings. But it is used as a guy who has watched a lot of pro wrestling, and people have kind of taken that system as their own and decided that they're going to, fine. I use star ratings to help verbalize how much I personally enjoyed a pro wrestling match and what I think is a great pro wrestling match. What I think is a great pro wrestling match doesn't mean that fucking, and again, I'm just putting out a name, Emily Pratt fucking feels the same way, or Dave Meltzer feels the same way, or Keeping It Strong Style feels it the same way. There's a reason why there's different voices talking about pro wrestling. Find the one that you agree with and run with it. Or find the one that you disagree and learn from them and kind of come to a common ground. That's good too. I think people get hung up on these star ratings being the be-all to end-all of how you determine what a great match is. It's a guide. That's all it is. And I think that's good for everything, whether it be a new album that comes out, a fucking movie that's out, a restaurant that just opened up, whatever. You use it as a guide. I can't tell you how many fucking times I've seen a 3-star review where I've totally loved, whether it be, again, an album, a film, a restaurant, whatever. And I can't tell you how many times, oh my God, perfect example. Are you familiar with Fiona Apple?
No, I'm not.
Okay. She's a recording artist, and she was pretty popular in the mid to late 90s. Well, she recently came out with an album this year. And I'm telling you what, everybody has their fucking pants down over this fucking album. I mean, it's gotten 5 stars from every fucking publication in the world. So now I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'm going to give this fucking thing a listen. I think it's garbage. I listened to 3 songs and I'm like, I'm out of it. This is not for me. Right? And that's fine. What? I don't know music? I don't fucking know what I like. I know what I like. It's used as a guide. We are not abolishing fucking star ratings because they serve a purpose. If, like, I don't know, are people getting do people get upset when they see star ratings? That's what I don't understand. Like, when you get upset,
it's not that.
Like,
the reason I brought it up, because that was what I saw dominating the discourse, was the quality of the match and people throwing out their star ratings and, look at what the average is on the Grapple site, whatever, which, again, like, I agree with you to an extent. You can use that as a launching point for your discussion and evaluation of, piece of media or whatever, but it's not the be-all and end-all of the discussion.
No, and certainly not for this match. But, again, a huge part of what people enjoy pro wrestling over is that bell-to-bell in-ring. Put me in that bucket. I mean, that's why I like pro wrestling. Can I appreciate what we saw a few nights ago? Yeah, because we're talking about pro wrestling in a way that we haven't in months. And even if this wasn't in the picture, even if everything was perfectly normal from the day I left that fucking Liger retirement show to now, we'd still be talking about this, and we'd still be talking about this in the same way of they made stars. Is Evil the right guy from a storyline perspective? Yes. But I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, I have my doubts about Evil if they continue Evil with, we'll just say, 3 more title defenses. I worry about match quality because at the end of the day, I got to sit there for 20 minutes and watch a fucking pro wrestling match, right? And I want it to be good. Sorry. I don't want to be eye-rolling and hand-waving. I want it to be good. That's why I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, because in ring, I feel like I get the best of the best. There is that other side of the argument of, yes, there's plenty of stuff going around you, though, that can satisfy all audiences, and there's stuff I appreciate from that. But make no mistake about it. I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling primarily because I know my main events, or at least my second half of shows, are going to be some of the best pro wrestling that on planet Earth. That's why I watch.
I wanted to pick your brains as well about the atmosphere, like the audience, the crowd reception to what went on, because we're in this weird COVID world of cheering being strongly discouraged. So we need to reset our parameters for what constitutes strong heat, because the gentle booing you heard yesterday for what went down, I think would be nuclear heat in a pre-COVID world. So what did you think of the atmosphere?
I was so impressed with the fact that whether they were told, I don't know how it went down, but I mean, obviously there was no vocalizing, no cheering. Again, because we don't want to scream, we don't want saliva and spit. Everyone's wearing masks. In a country where it is, we'll just leave it as a hot debate, which is mind-blowing to me. That is even a debate. But okay, it is. I shrug my shoulders. But we have an arena and obviously people who respect each other enough that they're going to watch a pro wrestling event and they're going to applaud and cheer with their hands, and as was going around the internet, scream inside their hearts. There was great joy to me that and faith in humankind that was happening. And I gotta be honest with you, Cheryl came in and she was watching that and she goes, "Oh my God, there's people there." I was like, "Yeah, they're one of the shows that they limited capacity." And then oddly enough, they showed a shot of the crowd and they showed how the chairs were spaced apart. And she was watching a little bit and she, the clapping. And she goes, "Nobody's cheering." I was like, "Yeah, they're clapping." And like you could just see her face just be like, "Oh my God, that is unbelievably like that would never happen here." Yeah, and then when you did hear the boos, that would have been nuclear heat. I wasn't there, but I would gather that from what I could see, it looked well organized. Everyone was wearing masks. Not that was ever an issue in Japan, but everyone's wearing masks. Even the way they were exiting the arena, if you notice, they looked like they were exiting in waves. They had certain sections at certain times were leaving, which I thought was nice. You see that at the Dome for bigger shows just to get people out of the Dome. But they were doing the same thing, it felt like there. I was thrilled to hear people reacting to pro wrestling, and and even though it was a taste of what we would normally see and hear, I was so happy for it. You know what I mean? Like just hearing the claps and they were improvising, Joel. With the the forearm exchange spots. They're clapping along, and it was good. I was very happy with what I saw. not only the way that New Japan handled the situation safely, but the people there taking responsibility for their actions was such a refreshing change from what I am literally, not literally, of course. I know you hate when I say that, but being bludgeoned with information about people not doing that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also have another interesting question here from Manabu, who says, what do you think the non-New Japan Dojo guys like Ibushi, Sanada, Shingo, Kenta are thinking as they see heavyweight champion Evil?
Yeah. How about the Jay White sitting home? It's the Bullet Club guys that I'm like.
Oh, we got a ton of questions on that. Don't worry, that's coming.
Yeah, yeah. There were a couple things that popped in my mind after I got out of the initial shock of Evil being that IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and I just want to put this thought in your head, Joel. Imagine that. You know how they have the heavyweight title matches, and they have that video package where they go through all the champions. Inoki, Shoshu, Fujinami, and they go through them all. Sap, Lesnar, Tanahashi, Takayama, Evil.
We had a question about that, actually. Borg said, in 5 years, when Evil's face shows up during the Champions Roll Call video, how do you predict we're going to feel about it?
Wow. Right. Well, that's the question. That's the question. I'll ask you right now. Do you think, Joel, that this is as the kids say, a cup of coffee with the title? Do you think this is a run that lasts? Let's put it this way. I'll ask you a series. Does this title reign last until Wrestle Kingdom 2021?
No, I don't think so. I think even if we have a limited capacity Tokyo Dome, I don't think you would want to rely on Evil in the main event spot there. I wouldn't be against it, actually. I mean, I don't know, hypothetically, let's say Sanada wins the G1 and challenges Evil at the Dome. I think that would be really cool, just because it sort of shifts the goalposts on the dynamics of that match and the stakes of that match. So I'd be really into that, but I don't think they do. No, I think he loses it before the Tokyo Dome. What about you?
That's what I feel. I wish I wasn't prepared for this. You know what I mean? It was like it's not usually for this title. You can and you nailed it right out of the gate on this show. Usually you can see 6 months down the line. Okay, we got a G1 winner. Boom, here we go to the Dome. And right around this time every year, you can kind of see the tea leaves. I have no fucking idea. I can't sit here and tell you that I have a fucking shred of what the fuck they're going to be doing. I don't. I don't see it, but I don't see it, but I didn't see this guy holding double gold. He would be the last guy I would have on a list of realistic shots. Like if we sat here and said, okay, let's 2 weeks ago, let's get a list of realistic people that could win this title. We get this question asked to us all the time. What's the ceiling on this guy? What's the ceiling on this guy? What's the ceiling on this guy? Joe, there is no one, and I don't give a fuck who they are. No one is going to look at me in the eye and tell me that they thought Evil was going to win this fucking title. No one. And now we're talking about how long is he going to hold this title? I would say not Tokyo Dome. I don't see how you sell out Tokyo Dome with Evil on top. I don't see it. But look, in 2 days, he's the most talked about guy in pro wrestling. He's given an absolute rattling to the New Japan fan base and the company as a whole. It feels fresh on a guy who didn't feel fresh. I don't know because this is, I feel like I'm swimming in completely uncharted waters. I have no fucking idea. And for a podcast where we focus on a product, how exciting is that? I feel like the show feels fresh. You know what I mean? I feel like there's nothing that's off. That's what it is. We are right now at a point where nothing is off the table. Nothing is off the fucking table. We could talk about anybody. And you're right. Any title defense, we could sit here and be like, okay, odds have gone up for this title to change because what did we just see? So it's exciting. It gives you energy. And if anything, again, you could sit here and talk about stars and match quality. Again, I'm in the boat that it wasn't a great match, but the end result was dramatic and rattling. And at the end, that's pro wrestling. At the very least, you got to admit you're feeling something now for the first time in a long time about pro wrestling. And to me, that is the most important tool that pro wrestling has to get you to feel something. Feels good to feel something.
Let's rattle through some of these questions about Evil in the whole situation, because I think this is probably the time to do it. So, maybe just your short form thoughts on this. So, a few here on Evil specifically. Jeremy says, are people freaking out too much about the Evil win? I feel he got the win to give him credibility and then lose the title shortly after. Isn't he basically going to become a more credible Goto? Maybe not as good as a wrestler, but I feel that's the objective here. George says, what do you think Evil's place on the card is going to be post this title reign? I see him as a JBL type post dropping the title to Cena, not perennial main eventer, but someone you can heat up for a big level program. And Daniel says, do you think Evil winning the title is a 2016 Naito or 2019 Jay White title run to establish him, and Naito will win the title back in perhaps August at Summer Struggle at Edion Arena, Osaka? That's the impression I get. It's going to give him a lift. He's not going to be a perennial top guy. I don't see him holding the belt for too long or main eventing a Tokyo Dome, but it's only going to help him.
I agree. What we've done is we've established Evil as a threat once again for a guy who has cooled off. I don't think it's going to be. You're not going to be talking about epic title run here. Watch me be wrong, but I just don't see it. But that's okay because look at the names that you just rattled off that had that cup of coffee with the title. So what you did was you made a star. You made a star at a guy 2 weeks ago that nobody gave nobody even cared about, let alone thought he was going to win a title.
Jive495 says, who replaces Evil in LIJ? I don't think we need a replacement in the short term, but long run, I could see Yo taking that spot when he's back from his injury.
I would too, and I truth be told, I kind of thought that would have been perfect. Or I actually thought it was going to be Master Wato, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But yeah, I mean that's I don't think you necessarily need to fill the gap. I mean, eventually, maybe they will. Listen, they brought in Dick Togo. It looks like everything's on the table. So, but I don't think in the near future we necessarily have to fill that gap.
Daryl says, take Naito out of the equation. Who beats Evil for the titles? Please, please, please don't say Sonata. I guess looking at the cards coming up for Sengoku Lords, a lot of people are looking at Okada once he's done with this Yujiro feuds, that he could be the guy to take the title off of Evil.
Yeah, I mean, that's one. I mean, you got to figure that it really depends on if they can get people back. And if we're just looking at the roster that we have right here and now, I think it's between two guys, Naito and Okada. I would say Okada, though. I would if you need me to put the gun to my head, Okada would be my guy.
Kyle says, how do you like Evil's new Ministry of Darkness Undertaker rebrand? So what did you think of the new outfit, the new music, new presentation?
Well, the first thing I thought of was well, this has been in the works for a little bit because somebody had to make that new outfit and somebody had to fucking make that video. So it's not like this was a last minute decision. That's first and foremost. It kind of looked a little skirtish to me. He was wearing a lace.
Jamie says, are there any other examples of someone becoming more intimidating by putting on a skirt like Evil has?
Did look. That was my first thought. And then the hair. I got to be honest with you. The hair was driving me nuts. Him constantly having the hair in his face and then moving it. I'm like, why don't you like? I understand people wanting to have the long hair look. That's fine. But if it's constantly in your face and you're constantly moving it, just tie it back. Silly to me. I think we'll see more and more changes in that. I mean, he's already pretty much said, fuck that silly sickle thing with his actions with Milano. And then wasn't there an image that he sent out of a broken one as well? So we won't have to see him carrying that Halloween store fucking sickle. I mean, subtle changes. They weren't massive changes, but yeah, I mean, it did look like he was wearing a skirt.
Matt says, how much do you think decisions were affected or changed by knowing which wrestlers are currently in Japan versus uncertainty of when those living overseas can return? Richard says, was the title change planned all along, or did the pandemic force Gedo to alter his long-term booking plans? Jim says, with hindsight being 2020, all this looks like brilliant long-term booking, but do you guys think that maybe this was supposed to originally be Kenta winning, but due to COVID-19 and the indefinite travel ban on US-based talent, Gedo had to shuffle everything up? I think there's enough evidence there to suggest that Evil was the long-term plan. But again, I'm 50-50 on that, but my answer is it doesn't matter.
My answer is that, again, from what we understand, there was another person that was, at least one other person that was, let's put it this way. The ideas of what we saw laid out in front of us a few days ago, there could have been a person that fell into that very easily. That from what, and again, rumors, let me just say, rumors, turned it down. So, while I think that is the case, Joel, I still think that they maybe sped that up a little bit with what was going down and the fact that they do have a limited roster and Bullet Club was thin, and like it all made a little sense. All these things that would have kind of some light has been shined on a little bit in on the street, kind of help forge what we saw here today or in the past days.
A few questions about Dick Togo. Hit the Books pod said, should Jericho sue Dick Togo over disguised gimmick infringement? Andrew says, does Dick Togo slot into the junior division? It needs the help, and he's always been a junior. But when he showed up in that Bushi mask, most people thought he was a heavy. Japanese Retro Game Center says, what should we know about Dick Togo? Also, what do you think his role will be? My initial impression is that he will be working on-screen and off-screen as necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, if anything, he's a six-man tag guy. Very, very much like a Jado guy. And it hasn't been explained. Why him? Of all, like, seriously, if we're going through everyone who's sitting at home in the world of Japanese pro wrestling, what was the deal with picking up the phone and calling him? I mean, I'm sure there's a relationship there. But why him of all people? Who was the person that at the table where they're at the booking meeting that said, who should we call? How about the Dick Togo? What's he up to? I wonder I wonder who the first person was to bring that up. I just thought it was a weird choice because, to me, I don't think a lot of people knew who it was. Like, I'm sure there were plenty of people that saw that face and were like, I don't know who the fuck that is, and were jumping on Twitter to be like, Dick Togo, okay. And then I'm sure half of those people went to Wikipedia and be like, who the fuck is Dick Togo? So. I just thought it was a joke. Like that's not a name that I ever thought we'd be saying in 2020.
Webhead says, who else other than Dick Togo do you see coming in, if anyone? And Giant Toe Fold says, any other ex-Michinoku Pro folks you'd like to see make a surprise appearance in New Japan?
I never really watched a lot of the Michinoku Pro. It really wasn't a style that I was thrilled with. I mean, they had Kai and Tai, if I'm not mistaken. Sasuke was there. If I'm not mistaken, Delphin was there too, right? I might be confused on that one. I want a Super Delphin. That's what I want. I want that back. I don't know. The only thing I can assume is that there's some type of relationship between him and and somebody in New Japan decision making to bring him back. What that relationship is, don't ask me. Again, I'm more shocked than I'm just as shocked as anyone else. But the idea of Dick Togo being a guy New Japan would circle on a short list to bring in, I don't know.
I've got a couple of questions about booking here as well, specific to this situation. Steel O'Neill says, is it a problem that some fans get too emotionally invested in wanting specific outcomes for matches? I love Naito. I also wanted to see a long, glorious double title reign. But to me, Evil winning was like a great season finale twist ending and opens up so many new storytelling opportunities going forward. Some of the negative responses online seem overblown to me. Act if the world has ended. And maybe I just have different perspective on things. And also Silver into Steel says, why do people complain about wrestling booking? They don't once complain when something unexpected happens. People seem to genuinely hate a heel, making them mad nowadays, and just say they're going to stop watching. Why do they need to feel smarter than the show? So what do you think is it about this situation that has elicited such a strong response from people?
Imagine if Twitter were around when Ronnie Garvin pinned Ric Flair in Detroit, Michigan and won the NWA World title at that time. Imagine if Twitter were around. Imagine if Twitter were around when, again, we'll use the Honky Tonk Man as an example, pins Ricky Steamboat for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. To answer the question, that's everywhere because everyone feels like that app gives them their voice and everyone's voice is equal. Well, as you can see, it's not. Just by reading some dopey comments. With everything in life, though, understand it's everything in life. Why do they feel specifically about pro wrestling the need to feel smart? I mean, everybody wants that. But you could go to hockey Twitter, and people will complain about a certain player who generally is regarded as a good player, but they're gonna uncover the fucking secrets of why he's really shit, or vice versa. A player who can't get out of his fucking way, why he's actually really good. That's my favorite one. When people try to tell me who's really good, and I'm just not seeing things right. Okay, it's everywhere, man. I don't look. It's we do a show that kind of is that in a nutshell. It's that's the world, man. I mean, here's your choice. Honestly, here's your choice. If that is a struggle for you, delete the social media and watch pro wrestling and enjoy pro wrestling, and then. Hey, maybe you can't get together now, but maybe you can outside, right? You can go outside and go to a brew pub or a winery or whatever your beverage of choice is, and discuss pro wrestling with your friends. That sounds like a more fun thing, right? Than going online and just seeing that wave of like, well, why the fuck are you even watching? And stop with the I'm going to discontinue New Japan World because my guy didn't win. Get out of here. Up the fucking street.
See you next month.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of questions about Bullet Club. Bash says, is Evil the de facto leader of Bullet Club now he holds the belts? And with the origins of Bullet Club being the foreigner stable against the Japanese wrestlers, do you think it's lost its weight in that now probably becoming the Japanese stable with members like Ishimori, Kenta and Evil? Do you think it's becoming more of a Japanese faction instead with the brains of Jado and Gedo behind it? Teja says, should Evil overthrow and kick out Jay White from the Bullet Club? Markeem says, are you guys like me and instantly wondered, kayfabe-wise, what does Jay White think about all of this? He's supposed to be the leader of this faction. Pleber says, do you think the sudden surge of new and prominent members in Bullet Club could be leading to a Jay White face turn? Topher says, what do you think this means for Bullet Club and factions in general? Bullet Club's getting pretty bloated at the minute, and with Gallows and Anderson supposedly coming back, do you think we'll see a Bullet Club split? Anderson coming back and forming a Bullet Club spin-off could work. And Adrian says, Bullet Club future, what is, in terms of its members, who do we see leaving the group? So what's your gut reaction on where this leaves Bullet Club?
Okay. I'm going to address one thing that I think a lot of people have talked about for quite a while. Really, the day that we saw Switchblade Jay White. Jay White eventually will be a babyface. Right? We're all in agreement on that. Right? So it could be. That's the one thing that right off the top of my head was, okay, not only is this a title reign, not only is this an elevation, not only is this a new coat of paint, this is also a seed for a lot of different things. And I feel like that seed, to me, is that Jay White babyface turn. Doesn't necessarily it's going to be even this year, but I feel in my heart that seed has been planted. I like the fact that, to me, and people may not agree with this one, but to me, Bullet Club is the most exciting faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Just the very fact, David, that you're excited about factions says it all. What a home run
Right.
This segment has been.
No doubt, right? But just the mix that they have. Like, they have a really fun mix. And yeah, I do like the fact that there is a lot of Japanese talent in Bullet Club, especially right now. Then, they're not just the swarmy, sneaky Gaijin wrestlers. I don't know. I find them to be. I find what they're doing right now to be some of the more exciting stuff. Now, again, speak to me when Fale rolls in and GOD roll in and all that. But as of right now, I dig it. I dig the idea of them. And to me, they're the most exciting faction.
And speaking of factions in general, Art White Flame says, is this the beginning of the end of how the current factions have worked, as LIJ are in shambles, Taichi is ascendant, Bullet Club has a new ace, and Tanahashi may never walk again?
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't. Now, there was a lot of rumblings about Tanahashi. When they announced that press conference that happened, I guess the only thing that came out of that presser I didn't watch, Joel, yesterday was or last night was just the announcements of the matches coming up later on this week, right?
Yeah, there were a couple of interviews, but yeah, it's mainly the Road
Sengoku.
to show and the Sengoku Lord card.
Gotcha. I mean, I think right now we're seeing that shift of factions and some of the changes. Let's put it this way. I don't think that this is the end of it. To be truthful, I don't think this is the end of that 2020 rattling. Again, we had a New Japan Cup that while again it produced great matches. I think they were great matches in that tournament. That wasn't the purpose. That purpose was to put 3-4 months of angles and storylines into one tournament to get us to where we are with a big show, and now away we go. But I don't think that's the
big
end
show? He's coming in as well.
No, Joel, you misunderstood me. That would be terrible news. No, I think we're going to see more split up. Does that mean a splintering off of Bullet Club? Does that mean? I mean, I hope not. There's nothing good that comes from a splintered off group. Is there in the history of pro wrestling? When you're going to
terrible flashbacks from 2018 as well.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll hope that that's not the case.
Let's talk about Naito. Daryl says only one successful title defense for Naito. Again, is this because he's so over that Gedo believes he doesn't need a long run? Just seems like after the amazing story that Tokyo Dome told, they'd ride him longer. And Jake says, even if Naito quickly regains the titles, how much does this impact his run on the top? And Andy says, where does this leave Tetsuya Naito? Will he ever get a lengthy heavyweight title reign?
That's one question that I came out of this weekend of that guy. Once again, whether it's pandemic related, whether it's we have to do something and sorry you're the guy. Boy, oh boy, it does feel that way, doesn't it? That guy is the two successful title defenses in 2 reigns. Let that sink in. Let that marinate for a second, Naito fans. 2 successful defenses, 2 title reigns. Yikes. I don't know. I mean, look, we sat here for an hour and talked about how great the idea of Evil winning and the jump start and everything's fresh and everything's new. There is one downfall to this, and that is that. How do you, if you're a Naito fan, there's got to be a part of you that's like, what the fuck?
I don't think so, actually, Damon. The consensus seems to be people, Naito fans, are just happy that he got his big moment on night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom 14. Nothing can take that away, and whether or not he gets the title back isn't really that big of an issue. He got his win over Okada, he had his big moment in the Dome, and they are going to treasure that moment. Okay,
I like that attitude. Let me be the pessimist here. What does that win mean? Like, what does that win mean now? It was a great moment, right? Okay.
Well, it was the culmination of his story arc, wasn't it? About his relationship with the Tokyo Dome and the main event of the Tokyo Dome specifically, where he had that, was it Wrestle Kingdom 8, where he had the title match, voted out the main event, and lost. Yeah. 12 made it into the main event, but lost, and now 14 makes it into the main event and wins. So that is the conclusion of that story arc.
But so for that story arc, I agree 100%, because in that building there was nothing like it that I've ever experienced. When we look back in the history of pro wrestling, is he going to be looked at as one of the, I don't want to say best champions, but are people going to remember Naito as a top guy? Because like when you get to that level, when you get to hold that title, that's the conversation that you enter. And that might be just like geeky pro wrestling talk, and we just need, because we love to fucking analyze shit, and there might be people that just hand wave that type of conversation. But I dig it. I geek out on it. Is he going to be regarded as one of the greatest IWGP heavyweight champions of all time, or is he just going to be a fucking footnote?
I think he will be viewed as one of the greats, just not one who is given the same opportunities as a Tanahashi or an Okada.
Okay, I mean, but that why is the next question, right? Right? Like I can't put him in. I can't put him in the top. I can't put him near the top. He had 2 title defenses. It's hard for me to do that. Just looking at the math, hard for me to do that. You can't put him in the same breath of an Okada or a Tanahashi or a Choshu or a you can't put him in the same breath, can you? Or Vader, can you? I mean, just looking at him again. Looking at him as an IWGP heavyweight champion, he's not in the same breath, right? When we go through the history books, he's not going to be in that conversation, right?
I guess it depends what way you look at it. What is the legacy of a wrestler? And in New Japan Pro Wrestling, he's got 2 brilliant Tokyo Dome main events to his name, but the title runs and the title defenses isn't there. But he, I think, is much more beloved than a lot of those other names that you've mentioned, given, he's got this passionate fan base. So I guess it depends how much investment you put in either of those facets of what makes a great champion or a great wrestler in the annals of history.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that the Naito fans aren't, throwing their hands up in the air. By and large, I mean, I'm sure there's people that are just like, "Fuck this! I can't do this anymore." And I would get it.
I think if it was anyone, if he'd lost it to Okada, I think they might be more upset. But because it was evil, and like I said, they're invested in the story. They're smart. They know what's up. That they are more on board with it.
All right. Okay. All right. Listen, I don't want anybody being upset. I want everybody hanging out. I don't want any tears shed. Everybody's smiling. All right. Have we beaten? We've gone an hour and 15 minutes talking about Evil, his title, every fucking nook and cranny. Where else can we go here today, Joel, that would be interesting to people who watch New Japan Pro Wrestling?
I've got some questions about titles. What? Maybe I'll save those until the questions. Well, we don't have that many questions, actually. We've covered most of them. But, let's go into Dominion then. Let's talk about the 6th match on the card, which was the IWGP Tag Team Championship match where Dangerous Tekkers, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kota Ibushi in 28 minutes and 43 seconds with the Holy Zack Driver, or the Zack Mephisto, as I've heard some people calling it. And again, let's take a moment to say how superb the build-up was to this tag title match. One small next step for them would be matching gear. But I thought this match was great. Real nastiness to Taichi. Love the way he's like grinding Ibushi's face into the ropes and shit talking. Like when he's wrestling, he looks like he genuinely hates the person that he's up against. The long control period was a bit slow, but really got cooking. There was a really hot Zack and Ibushi exchange, and then the Ibushi Taichi kick exchange where Ibushi got that murder Ibu look on his face and they just kick the shite out of each other. And this match was long in a good way. It got plenty of time to breathe, and I really enjoyed it. It was that main event style tag match, again a bit like the classic 90s All Japan, obviously not on that level, but reminiscent of it, and something that I think has been missing from New Japan. And I just thought the chemistry between all 4 guys was terrific. Some great moments like the repeated dragon screws on Tanahashi. They really destroyed his leg there in a way that makes me think there's going to have long-term repercussions for that storyline or otherwise. And I couldn't help but smile at the end because seeing Zack and Taichi just look so delighted to be winning those tag titles was great. And again, just a little moment, Zack throwing away Tanahashi's ice pack at the end as he wins his first New Japan Pro Wrestling Championship belt. And again, this is what I've wanted. We've wanted from the IWGP Tag Division for years. We wanted well-built stories with 4 quality wrestlers, plenty of time to tell their stories in the ring, and that creates a division and a championship that feels important and has got potential to draw. I think you could build to a rematch. You could do a rematch at the Dome. I think it is that well built and that important if you deal with it properly like they have done here. And it's something that I was talking about with our friend Kuni Saito, we bumped into at the Korakuen Hall a couple of years ago. His podcast, Prores no Koto, recommendation for any Japanese listeners out there or anyone who's learning Japanese, definitely worth checking out. But yeah, I thought this match was tremendous.
I was more upset that they didn't have an Ask Zack Anything session post match. They didn't have that, Joe. What a nice feeling to have a World Tag Team Championship match deliver on paper what we all hoped would happen. I thought this match was fan-fucking-tastic. I'm not going to lie. I loved the idea of Zack and Taichi winning the titles. correct me if I'm wrong. Both, Zach's first title, right? In New Japan. I mean, he's had the Rev Pro stuff, but we're counting that stuff. First title. So that was nice to see. I love the tag team of Zach and Taichi. Love them. I love that tag team of Tana and Ibushi. Tana has not really looked all that great. Let's be truthful. Since the return. He's looked good. He's had his good moments, but it feels like he has been the focal point of getting the heat. And maybe he's not 100%. Is he really ever 100%? Let's be true. No, he never. But it just felt like the 4 months off, 3 months, 4 months off, wasn't as impactful than, say, other people. That being said, you're right. The build-up to this has been off the charts. Even right before this show, the brawl in the interview areas. Look, they for years we had hoped that these tag titles would have some type of focal point and some type of build some type of interest because they had the talent to do so for years, and it just felt like it was something that was put in the back burner. And it feels really good to have four quality guys fighting over these titles. I had no problem with the title change. I encouraged it, and I thought it was going to happen. And the idea of those two guys holding the titles and rematches, sure, I'd have no problem with that. And then new interesting challengers and new interesting programs. Look, again, we don't know what's going to happen when guys start filtering back into Japan and being allowed back into the country. And that's going to open things up tremendously. But I would have no problem whatsoever for a long, lengthy run for these guys. Because you're going to get, at the very least, interesting shit. And on the good side of that, great matches, fun promos. Yeah, of course you're going to get some shenanigans and some bullshit. You always do with Suzuki-gun. But I'm excited for this one. And again, that match, like if you were looking for match quality post-intermission, post-cleaning of ring, this match and the match previous, those are the matches that you can hang your hat on. Again, main event may be a little disappointing to most when it comes to match quality. I thought this one more than made up for that.
Liam on Twitter says, any new or makeshift heavyweight tag teams you can think of to challenge Dangerous Tekkers? Obvious one, which we bang on about every year, Ishii and Goto, because they're doing fuck all at the moment. Stick them together, that'd be a great program.
Holy fuck. Yeah, because it seems like, what was once Hiromu and Ishii kind of swinging away, and even Yano and Hiromu, and that's now on the back burner with bigger and better things for Hiromu. Yeah, I mean that's one right off the gate, right out of the gate, off the top of the head. I'll mix up all that I would go for. Sure, let's do that. I mean, here's the thing: you can even throw in a Bullet Club mix in there. Why not? You could go. I mean, you could even do. Would you guys have a problem with Sonata and Naito?
No, I mean they're not holding any titles at the moment. Why not?
Right. Man, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I mean, I was going to say.
They got history with Zack and Taichi as well. I thought the chemistry would be good.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of places you can go with that. That's what makes it, again, that's what makes this like there's energy again. Like there is an energy in this promotion right now that we haven't felt in quite a long time. Again, we're sitting here, it's July. Previous 3 years, we'd be talking about, okay, this guy's winning G1 and away we go to Wrestle Kingdom. We don't got that this year. Usually November, your eyes are on the dome at that point. I don't think you're going to get that this year. There's too much. There's too much shit you got to cram in. There's 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. This is going to be good. This is going to be a win sprint for these next couple of months. Get on board. Honestly, if people are jumping off this train, they're out of their fucking minds. They lost it because whew, for 6 months you're gonna get moments like this that feel good. I don't know. I can't imagine jumping off this train right now.
The fifth match on Dominion was the Never Openweight Championship match with Shingo Takagi defending against Sho and beating him in 20 minutes and 7 seconds with the Last of the Dragon as he retains his title. This was tremendous. This is great. I love seeing Shingo just being a bully. I thought Sho's striking looked improved, really, really stiff. I thought Shingo's selling was great. Like just the little moments where he's kicked in the back and he's just grimacing on his face. And just really cool moments as well. The Irish whip into the German suplex from Sho, and a moment later on when Sho tried to no-sell the backdrop, and then he kind of like staggered and stumbled into landing his own German suplex, which is just a really awesome spot in the match. And it's little touches like that that I've noticed with Sho since the return. He really seems to have improved his game. Like he's got more of a killer instinct, more confidence that he can go toe-to-toe with a guy like Shingo, like shoving the ref away during one moment of that match. And it reminds me a little bit of Shibata, dare I say, with the striking and the grappling, and Kushida as well. Definitely some little tribute spots, the arm work, the mat transitions. Apparently he's been talking about Kushida on his podcast. And there was just no downtime in this match. There was no resting. It was just an intense 20-minute war. The kick out at one from the pumping bomber. Again, Shingo is amazing. I love Shingo. We can't talk enough about how brilliant he is. But to me, since the return, Sho, he just looks close to the complete package to me. He seems like he's got nearly everything now. And to me, I don't think the height thing is as much of a problem as other people. I say stick him in the G1.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I mean, if there's any doubts in anyone's mind, let's wipe them away. Yeah, put his ass in the fucking G1. Yes. Here's what New Japan has. They have this system where not only do they have the dojo and the Young Lions and excursions, but when they come back, there is a plethora of people that they can stick them in the ring with to have them continue their growth. But just think about Roppongi 3K and the matches that they had with like guys like Kanemaru and Despy, where again you're in the ring with a guy who has, dare I say, a ring general, right? Where they're constantly learning. And now, boom, we're sticking them in a program with a guy who, in my mind, is New Japan's best signing in years. Just multifaceted, checks every box from people from all different loves of pro wrestling, checking the box for Shingo. And you're putting him in the ring, singles matches, big-time spots. Here's what it did. He didn't win the title, but he came fucking damn close, and he looked credible, right? And now, while Yo is on the shelf a little bit, and, if the injury is what the injury is, that he's going to be out of action for a little bit. But when I say a little bit, I'll see you next year. He's got to make do as a singles competitor. I don't think this puts a nail in the coffin for never title for him. I don't think it does. The only question mark that came out of Dominion was what's next for Sho? But yeah, I think this match helped to elevate him tremendously. He's taken seriously now. He's a serious threat to any title. I still have high hopes for him too. Like he's future material. I really do. I think he's future material when it comes to big boy belts.
And I think the only other match from the weekend that is worth diving into in any great depth was the third match from the New Japan Cup final show, which was, of course, Master Wato making his re-debut and defeating Doki in 7 minutes and 46 seconds with the RPP. And great buzz for this match, Damon. It was just raging online discourse
really?
With people churning out memes. Where do you stand on that? Do you think it's just a bit of harmless fun, or do you think he's been memed into oblivion already?
He's been memed into oblivion. I look.
So it's no longer funny. Are we in agreement?
Oh no, it stopped being funny 10 minutes ago. It's 10 minutes after it started. It got even where I'm just like, even on our own Discord, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. This is ridiculous. Yeah, because unfortunately, it is one of those things where the horse gets beaten to death rather quickly. Give me your feelings on Master Wato. To me, he looks like a dude who has, he looks like a guy who is on the sinking ship and he knows the ship is sinking, and he's got he's got a glass that's constantly trying to dump out the water on the ship. He looks scared. He does not look confident. He does not look like a guy who is comfortable in his own skin right now. When he's in the ring, he feels like that's his comfort zone, but it's like he has Yoshihashi syndrome, where from the minute his music hits and to the minute he gets into the ring, it is this minute or two of very uncomfortableism. He does not look like a confident dude in this gimmick.
That'll come. I mean, I'm sure that's just a short-term thing. I thought I enjoyed the match. I thought it was good, really good. I thought Doki was great as well, with his golden outfit. This is the biggest spot of his career. He dressed the part. He carried himself like a star. So, big thumbs up for him as well. Wato, he looks a bit nervous. That's understandable. A lot of comments about him looking dorky in the outfit, but I think you've got to remember this is a gimmick. He's for the kids. He's the kind of person that kids can say, "Oh, look at this cool guy with the blue hair and the karate kicks and stuff." They're going to dig it. So
kids are saying that. Kids are saying that.
I think he is. Yeah. That's what I think. I think it's for the children.
Okay.
But I thought he did well in this match. The kick sounded good, nice and meaty. Touch of Marufuji about his offense. Other stuff I like, Doki with his little fist pump when he nailed the springboard DDT. I thought Wato's finisher looked really good. It was exactly what it needed to be. Even if he does look a bit goofy, I thought it was a good debut.
Are you happy with Master Wato so far? Give me a scale of 1 to 10 of your Master Wato impressions.
An 8 in terms of what my expectations were. Yeah, I thought I'm not expecting him to go and to be the next Hiromu or anything. He's not going to be some transcendental champion. But as I spoke last time, based on what I saw when he was a young lion, as a talented worker who's got a good connection to the crowd, I think he could definitely go on to have a successful and long career with New Japan. Like other people have discussed, if he, let's say, has a career and the similar trajectory as someone like Taguchi, that would be amazing for him.
Okay, is that where we're putting him? Is that like the rung on the ladder of where we expect him?
I think so. I think that's fair.
Yeah, maybe not everyone's going to be Jay White. I get that.
He's an unconfident, goofy-looking junior who's got. I don't want to say cross-eyed. I don't know what the technical term is, but obviously
lazy. He's got a lazy eye, doesn't he?
He's got a lazy eye. Yeah, that's it. So I think there's, if we're expecting him to be headlining the Tokyo Dome, we're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. He was one of my favorites. I thought he was really going to.
He's still really good. Well, I don't understand what part of this is disappointing you. What were you expecting?
I don't like. He just feels. Look, we're 3 weeks into this. 4 weeks, well, however long. It feels like a little bit of a fart in church. You know what I mean? Like,
he's had 2 matches. Come on.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's early. It's very early. But I will say that early returns. Look, nobody wants a guy to. Nobody sets out to be. I'm going to be a mid-carder. You know what I mean? Who does that? Nobody does that. You wind up being a mid-carder.
I think we've just been spoiled by the returns of, like you said, Roppongi 3K and Jay White and Hiromu. I don't know if there's anyone else I'm missing, but guys who have just, it's been pretty much home run as soon as they return. Like, really unique, exceptional talents, and not every returning wrestler is going to be like that.
Very true. Very true. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the gimmick. Maybe it's the blue. I don't know. But
it's
it feels. He feels
Damon.
like
it's for the kids, the little children. Go, yay, Master Wato. He's my favorite.
I like kid stuff. Come on. I can be a child at heart. All right. Then it's not for me. Right. All right. I don't know. I'm nowhere near an 8. Not even in that fucking stratosphere. 5. I'll give you for the Master Wato right now. Again, it's early. Things can change. People can grow. They could fucking just scrap this entire gimmick and, he's something different. Let's fast forward fucking 2 years. As the week before we bury him, he wins the fucking title. Just like evil. Be great.
Well, look, lest we forget that when Okada returned from his excursion, he looked really goofy as well. So there's plenty of time and room to fix things up.
Correct. I'm not completely dead on this by any stretch. But again, from what I've seen so far, I'm going 5.
So Andrew's question, please issue a demand that anyone who doubted Master Wato versus Doki immediately publicly apologise and admit their wrongdoings. You're not going to admit fault on that one, which is fair enough.
No, I mean, I like the match. I thought the match was fine. No. I thought the match was fine. Look, there's a reason why he turned into a fucking meme, right? Right? You're not going to fucking meme somebody who comes out of the gate strong. We turned into a meme for a fucking reason, right? Right, all that chat and everybody all going all fucking berserker. We're Wato mania and blah blah blah. That's all tongue-in-cheek bullshit on our Discord, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. There's a reason for that. So let's get off this fucking high horse that Kawato came out of the gates hitting home runs. This has been a bit of a fucking wet fart in church.
Well, let me throw this to you. Jack says, would Kawato benefit being under a mask to cover his geekiness?
I think it's the whole package, really. I mean, look, they had to fucking drag Tenzan out there to give him a rub. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason that Tenzan came out there to give him more than just to set up the tag match the next day. Okay. They could have just stuck him in with anybody and it wouldn't have mattered. There's a reason Tenzan came out there, made the save, and gave him a little bit of a rub. By the way, is Master Wato, is he a junior?
I believe so, yes. But I think there's something worth noting is that they, for the time being, seem to have completely dropped the junior and heavyweight distinction. To me, it seems like it's just open weight season right now. There's no word on the junior tag titles, and Hiromu obviously has got his program with Evil, but he's not defending the junior titles. So it just seems that across the board, it's just open weight stuff. Given the roster depletion, that makes sense to me.
That's pretty fucking awesome, actually, if you think about it. It's really great. Yeah. That's good. All right, good. And it looks like it's his next program is with Kanemoto. So there you go. There's another example of. Sorry, I'm eating a vitamin as I do a podcast that millions of people listen to. Millions? Yes. that's another great learning time for him as well. So good. All right. There's Wato. What do we think about Shingo and El Desperado? We can talk about that for a second. Come on, you there? You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Wait, can you repeat that? I just lost you there for a moment.
No problem. Talked about Shingo and El Desperado and your thoughts. We didn't really touch on that.
Yes, well, we do have the card for Sengoku Lord, so I was going to save that for later, or maybe we could save it for our next episode if we want to do a full breakdown on that. But yeah, straight off the bat, I mean, that's going to be awesome. Shingo's awesome, Desperado's awesome. What is there not to love about that? This is great.
Yeah, again, talking more about that split of juniors and heavyweights and all that stuff. Just adds to that. Yeah, that will be great. I'm totally fucking into that idea. Never titles super exciting. You know, we talked a lot about the tag titles being exciting. That fucking never title scene, that's mint. I love that shit. I'm digging that, and the idea of all these different weight classes doing it. Awesome.
I'm Lee Kyle says Doki is genuinely really fucking good. Maybe just talk about that for 2 hours. Yeah, I'm with you, but I'm not going to talk about him for 2 hours. But yeah, he was really good in this match. Damon, we forgot to actually talk about the New Japan Cup final itself, which was Evil defeating Kazuchika Okada in 31 minutes 50 seconds with Evil as he wins the New Japan Cup. I mean, I don't want to just recycle old things that we've talked about with Evil, but just the match itself, I liked that Evil was changing up the pace. He went for an early Darkness Falls and attempted the Evil early on into the match, and he was going after Okada's Rainmaker arm. I've heard different opinions on this. I thought Okada's selling was pretty good. Like, not that he was crippled, but sort of less effective using that arm, but he's too stubborn to stop using it. Just like he'd whack Evil, but then there's just a little grimace after each use. And I thought Evil carried himself well. I like to see him bullying people. It works for him. His offense seems nastier than usual. Like, you know, the dick punch, the Darkness Falls onto the chairs, like the big impactful moves. There was that kind of hangman stomp move that he used, the top rope superplex. That all looked really good. And I thought the Cobra Clutch was used well to transition into the eye rake. And it just seems like, I've talked before about Okada, the way he's changing the way he wrestles. Like, he waited until 25 minutes in to start busting out the big moves like the drop kicks. And I wonder if he's modifying his style for longevity or the crowds or what. But he almost had Evil out with the Cobra Clutch. But it was the callback to the way he finished Hiromu, where he had Hiromu out, but then he went for a couple of those short arm sort of semi-rainmakers to soften him up before going back to it. And then, of course, we had all the shenanigans. The way when we had Gedo and Yujiro running out, and of course callbacks to the AJ Styles match where Yujiro cost Okada the title. Was that, what year was that? 2014, I want to say.
14?
Yeah. Or even Naito's first title win. So when it happened, there was just a lot of doubt and confusion. It was really well executed because I was trying to make sense of it, because you were asking yourself, is Evil in cahoots with the Bullet Club, or is this just Gedo getting revenge for Okada beating him in the New Japan Cup? A lot of ref bumps, nut shots, but again, it worked for me. The story had been set out in the New Japan Cup that Evil is going to do whatever it takes to win. You know, him glaring into the camera after the winning pinfall was great, and then the moment with the fist bump into the Too Sweet, and it was a great little reveal. I just love the execution of it, the camera angles, the crowd. You know, they were told not to make any sounds or to call out or shout, but even they couldn't help reacting to that. And you know, the vocal displeasure from Evil stamping on the LIJ cap, and it was nice to actually see LIJ make the save there, and you know, Milano looking all devastated at the end. I don't think it was a great main event for the purists, but if the aim was to get the angle over, then I think it was successful.
Yeah, the match was good. I don't think it was great. And this just popped into my head, mind you. And again, I'm terrible with recollecting information. But is this the first time that a New Japan Cup winner who went on to challenge for a title won the title? It is, right?
No, Okada last year, he won the New Japan Cup and then won the title at Madison Square Garden.
Good point. Okay, that makes sense. Fuck me.
You were there, Damon. Come on.
I have dementia. I don't remember anything.
You just remember the pastrami sandwich. Don't blame me.
That's one thing. How can you forget that? Oh, deliciousness. All right. So that was that. I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about the New Japan Cup show as a whole. I mean, just that main event was good, but yeah, I mean, the next night was really the story of the weekend and the week and the month, and really New Japan Pro Wrestling's return. It's what a time to be alive, Joel. I'm looking at this show for Sengoku Lord, and I'm looking at a main event here, and I'm seeing somebody as the 71st IWGP Heavyweight Champion and 25th Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, and that man is named Evil. I just think back to Watanabe, a show in Rahway, New Jersey, Joel, and this guy couldn't get booked on his show for the life of him. He was sitting down the Jersey Shore right around this time a few years ago. Couldn't get fucking booked on his show for the life of him, Joel. He was sitting at a table signing autographs. Joel, there was nobody signing autographs for him. There was no line. There wasn't anybody clamoring to get a Watanabe 8x10. And he was just sitting there for the longest time, and I was actually taking some pictures of him from the bleachers, just to get a couple in my camera roll. And now look at him. Now look at him, 71st IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
They were supposed to hate the man. You're making it like a really heartwarming story. I'm rooting for the guy now. What a comeback!
Well, really, I mean, it is an amazing thing how it just all worked out. I am not making up the fact that he could not get, like, he would get booked when New Japan guys were in town, right? Like, he would be on those shows, but it wasn't like he was working every Ring of Honor show or every independent show, or he was just there. He was just there, and now look at him. So. Look, I'm happy. I'm actually happy for the guy himself. Like that's he had to wake up that fucking next day and be like, holy shit, it fucking paid off. Good for him. Good for him.
I'll tell you what, Damon, I think we should leave it there, and then when we next record, you're going to go away and watch some Lions Break Collision shows, and then we can talk about those, and we can perhaps discuss the New Japan Road show, whether or not we record before or after that, and then we can do a full preview of Sengoku Lord, because I feel like I should be doing some fathering duties at the moment, or I'm going to get an earful from the missus. So let's knock it on the head there, if that's all right with you, and we'll save all the questions and everything for next time. So let's go to the closing. redcircle.com/shows/super-j-cast if you want to give us some money, please. Thank you. Like money. Money's good. Discord link is in the show notes, and prowrestlingtees.com/superjcast if you want to get one of our t-shirts. Thanks to editor Dan. Find him on Twitter at LousyHero219. Subscribe to the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network for other great shows. Give us a 5-snake review on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at the SuperJcast. Thank you everyone for listening, and goodbye.